goddamn software encoder, for fuck's sake. Obviously it's not going to work. Rendering with the CPU, for fuck's sake. Yeah, look at it. It's fucking awesome now. Good, good spot there, Winks. You're the man. Yeah, actually, it is T.S. Dubs in the house. Been that job you got. Got a spot for you in the team. Alright. Rehyped again. It's like new all again. What, watching the smoothest? Oh yeah. Hell yeah. I gotta do this again, but that's alright. Ah, also means might as well put the old settings back. Thank you.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
They call him T.S. Dubs. Ultra. Oh wait, I was up here before. No.
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Oh wait, no. Get back. Oh no, this is alright. I thought I was somewhere else.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
Cannot. Need to find them. Need to get back down so we can get to the music
I wonder if
box.
that comic was right about there being a key inside the music box near the basement.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out how to get down there. I guess I have to go up through there. Yes. Right. So this just goes to here.
Maybe I should go check out that music box down by the basement.
Yes, this is where I'm going. Go down here. So good to be the weekend, man. Ah, the relief.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Get to the basement.
If If I keep winding the music box, maybe a key will pop out like it did in the comic book.
Nice kitchen.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Yeah. Start to, yeah, that's cool. You go, oh, yeah, I know where that is. I need to get to the basement. I'm in the garage, so let's get out of here. Basement.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
Basement. Walked past it, did I? Yeah. There we go. Easy clap. Yes. See, I added some new emotes as well. How good.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
Yes, a likely story.
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
What? That's me in God of War, looking around everywhere.
I remember
Yeah, how good
asking
is
Mom
he?
once about where Walter
Look at
had
him
gone.
go.
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
What the hell happened?
Having a schedule, living for today.
Oh, gross, dude.
I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
Never go to work.
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal.
Jeez.
Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped.
For this guy, could you have it at
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe you got tired of waiting.
Fuck going outside though.
Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting.
Shit.
I have to leave while I still can.
Damn. Oh. Yeah. I'd like to sit over. Okay. This is cool as.
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it.
Oh shit.
I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Jeez.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Getting a tree sorted there.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Let's do it, man.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
That feels bad.
I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Yeah, man. The whole game's just amazing. Like, it's like a
I think we've
proper
been surrounded
movie.
by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
So cool. And you're like, yeah, so, like, you're right in it.
What kind of family
Awesome.
finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Yeah, she's got a point there.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edith who designed the cemetery.
Holy shit, she's nearly 100. It's cool. Cool. The things on top of her. Jesus.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Jeez. Jesus, man, so many kid deaths.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Let's step ahead.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant. I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Yikes. Jeez. Cool.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
Enhance.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just want to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can take off.
What?
Perfect.
God, man, I'm taking
It's gonna
pictures
rain
of
the
the
whole
goddamn
weekend,
roof.
isn't it?
Idiot.
Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are.
This camera sucks.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Haha.
Hold still.
Hey!
That's a
Got 'em.
keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don.
That's right.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. Great shot, Don!
Oh, that was good as me pick.
I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
This is a bit weird,
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Oh! Shit.
Of all these
Whoa,
stories,
man.
that's the
Was
one
not
I wish
expecting that.
most that my mom had told me. After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Oh, shit.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Huh. Get in there.
Time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
Dude, let me in.
Whatever it was he saw. It sure made him happy.
Whoa.
Silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw.
Dude, I need to be able to turn this back off.
There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
Oh shit, man. Oh my
I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too.
goodness. Actual Pepe swimming.
Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Oh, really? I don't know why. It's, you know, it's part of the story. Oh, fucking. I thought it was really well done. Yeah, super well done, I reckon. Oh, wait, I'm back in.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Oh, no, 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 it was just. Weird. Nice faces, man. Sure there's nothing on from the divorce papers. Room's pretty linear. Could be wrong. Yeah, pretty sure I fucked up somewhere here and taken the wrong turn. Like this game, yeah, like you said, pretty much leads you along. Yes, I have
Sam spent his
managed
life
to
shooting photos, but Mom
fuck it
said he
up.
got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something. I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our
He's a
father
piece of
never
work.
hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Awesome.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words
I
that...
now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Oh, my letters are gone.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. Thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus. My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
Oh, this house is huge.
At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Matt wouldn't be happy with that.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
I think I can go back where I came. Definitely kind of go out there. I don't want to climb out again. Must have missed a turn off over here. How's it going, Ronay 57? I think I messed up here. You can watch me bumble around trying to figure out where to go in a game that's very quite simple with telling you where to go. It's just that I'm an idiot. Yeah, I know, man. I'm trying to figure out, like, if I missed a turn, or if, like, I should be here. I think I maybe messed up when I climbed up here. I think up here, there's maybe something I missed. Play the Gregory story. Yeah, I think I have. Nah, I've got to go out here, man. I can't. Hello. At the top. Ah, I gotta climb back up. Thank you, sir.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Haha, awesome. That's so cool.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Oh, whoops. Go on, back down again.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Oh, whoops. Actually, I'm gonna go up here.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
Your room. Not anymore. What?
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Maybe it is my room.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Okay, well,
He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself.
oof.
In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he
alright?
started small. Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head.
So weird.
He took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
I might need to reset. That's alright. That was cool anyway. Just got the kettle on. Pretty brilliant.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
This guy's setup's awesome. Just a bit on the nose, but yeah, not too good.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist,
Yeah,
I can
it's so
understand
good,
your
man.
desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
I know, man. How spot on.
He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Mario.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince.
Oh, I thought that was describing me. Oh,
The prince was on his own quest for
serpents.
sinister serpents. He followed the sound of his
Oh, electrified sitar. Brilliant.
electric sitar.
So cool. So well done.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Wow, that's crazy.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Yeah, for sure, man. That was insane.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral,
Well, the whole
my
game
mom
is
told me to start
amazingly
packing.
designed, really. I haven't seen anything like it.
She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Whoa.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine!
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
How cool is the house? That was unbelievably good. So good, man. What an unbelievable game. That was a good recommendation, that one. Just getting a cup of tea. Yeah, man, it was really good. Like, just amazing design and story, and yeah, it's just awesome. Yeah, that was really cool. I just need something for maybe 10 minutes or so. Could do that. I don't want to probably bother with the keyboard and mouse. Might just do a quick run of this. Play for 20 minutes or so. Or watch some telly or something. Where he talks about it. Oh, awesome, man. Yeah, I'll watch that after I play this. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Got my entertainment after this plan now. Chuck that on. Oh yeah, head up whenever as well. Yeah, I'm not doing anything. Shouldn't I go on this character? I don't even really want to play it. I want to play the other guy. Something a bit easier. Dude, this has native control support now. Oh, does it? I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't even know, man. Input settings. Whoa. Oh yeah, you're right. How cool is that? Fuck. I'll just keep using this one because whatever. This works pretty well. Let's quickly rush through this. Play for another 15. See if I can kill the heart quickly. Whoa. Oh, maybe I'll watch it now. I'll just watch it on the stream. Oh, for fuck's sake. Load up your channel. I'll paste it. Oh, okay, cool. It's alright.
Hi. This year, walking simulators found new ways to tell stories. Tacoma, from Gone Home developer Fulbright, reinvented the tired old audio diary as an interactive cutscene with augmented reality ghosts who walk and talk their way around a spaceship. But the standout game was actually What Remains of Edith Finch, a touching story about family and loss, which uses the controller to create a bond between you and the unlucky characters in the Finch family. It starts with simple actions, like pushing on the analog stick or mouse to open doors, peer through letterboxes, and twist can openers. But in the vignettes, you'll find yourself acting as different animals, swinging back and forth, and flying a kite in ways that connect you directly to the story at hand. The best one, though, unquestionably, is the vignette for Lewis Finch.
Dear Mrs. Finch,
Yeah, this is so
as
good,
Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse.
This one takes place in a fish cannery, where you pick up fish from the left side of the screen, swing them over to the guillotine on the right, and then push them onto the conveyor belt up top. Over and over and over again. It's a monotonous job, which inevitably leads Lewis's mind to wander, and this manifests itself as a second game over on the left. It starts as a simple maze game, but grows progressively more interesting and imaginative. You realise that you have to do both games at once, not just because the fish get in the way of the daydream, but various locks in the imaginary world won't open until you chop off a fish's head in the real world.
So well done.
However, there's no predictable rhythm to the fish, so you can't completely switch off your brain and rely on rote muscle memory. Over time, the daydream becomes bigger, taking up more and more of the screen as it takes up more and more of Lewis's attention, with just faint echoes of his boring job appearing in the imaginary world. The secondary game starts to introduce choices, get bigger and louder, and then envelop the whole screen as it shifts from a top-down perspective to a full-on first-person viewpoint, until the real world of the cannery merges into the fake world of his imagination, which leads to, well, I'll let you play the game yourself for that. This is a pretty incredible bit of empathetic storytelling, because it uses the interactivity of the game to clearly express how it feels to daydream while working. Your hands are doing two things, which reflects how Lewis's mind is split, and it shows how one side starts to dominate the other, clearly expressing how Lewis retreats into his own thoughts and imagination. This is a real benefit of video game storytelling, using the interactivity of the medium to draw us into the game and make us think and feel like the character in the story. Finally, it might be a surprise to see a level from a Call of Duty campaign on a list like this.
Yeah, it was
These
amazing,
missions
man.
are often painfully linear.
Yeah, man. What a yeah, just all round awesome job on the game. I might gift it to my cousin. PS3. Lights Dev trailer, but never had consoles. It's called the Unfinished Swan. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hello, this is Stampy, and welcome
Yeah, I
to a
remember
Let's Play of the
watching
Unfinished
this at
Swan.
your place.
And I'm going to explain a little bit more about what this game is, but for now, I'm just going to load it up, and we can...
Who felt pretty unfinished himself. Monroe's mother had always been much better at starting things than finishing them.
Ah, yep.
When she died, but that...
And released a round to it, and I just bought it, and I thought that I might as well share my experience with you.
Yeah, that's crazy. This one was so insane. Yeah, they're obviously pretty switched on. Do you know if they're working on anything at the moment? Like, if they got anything in the pipeline? Yeah, Milton. Yeah, true, actually. He brought it one go, man. Paintbrush door, true. Like the guy in the thing then. Huh. Pretty clever. I wonder what they will release next. Yeah. How good. Yeah, that was a good one. Good little quick couch game, that one. I gotta think of what to play next. Oh, I'm gonna tick it off the old list, that's for sure. Alright, so it looks like the next one is A Plague Tale Innocence. The little ticky, indeed. Yeah, I think that'll be next. Yeah, don't mind, unless you want another real short one. Yeah, if there's another short one, I wouldn't mind to get another one done. What do you got in mind? Transistor is like 6 to 8 hours. Transistor, what was that one? Have a look. Ah, Supergiant, shit. Pull up to Bastion. Right. Yep. Ooh, I tell you what, man. I tell you what. Been this. Sure do feel like a quick run of your love transistor. Yeah. All right. Sick. I will definitely do that. I'm gonna download it now. Oh no, I won't if I'm streaming. I'll just have a. I was gonna have a Hades run. Maybe I should play some other ones. Yeah, I'll definitely buy Transistor. Do it now. Yeah, good idea. Switch. Not my Steam library. I need to search the store, mate. Too late. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Search the. You're gonna love it. Oh man, I'm hyped now. Shit. Oh yeah. True. I wonder how big this is. Oh no, I think it's all good actually. I think we're good. Did I get it? Oh yeah, just saw it. Just saw it. No, it's fucked off. Yeah. Get fucking yes.